I'm not coming down. I wanna go higher, higher, higher than that.
Welcome back to the Business is Human podcast. I'm your host, Rebecca Fleetwood Hession, and we're here to bring you episodes that blend meaningful work with profitable success. Here to steward what I call the age of humanity. I believe if we transform the way we work, we can transform the way that we live. As always, my friendly request, if you like what you hear, hit subscribe so you don't miss any episode, and leave a review to tell the other humans that they might like it too. Always looking to help you and connect with others. All right, let's get into it, shall we? Hey, it's Rebecca. Welcome back to the show. We are going to talk today about another counterfeit. And this idea of counterfeit is on my mind perpetually because God asked me to write a book about the counterfeit life. I know. Sounds kind of crazy until you start digging into it, and it is fascinating. So counterfeit is something that looks like the real thing, but it can never give you the real promise or results that you want. Just like counterfeit money. It looks real, but you'll get caught trying to use it because it's not real. It gives the appearance that it has value, but it's hollow. It doesn't really have value. And so in business and in life, there are many counterfeits. It's a counterfeit to true success. It looks like it's valuable, but it's not. And the one that I want to talk about today is, oh my goodness, working harder. It feels productive in the moment, but ultimately it drains us, disconnects us. And today I want to talk about not just the impact to us, but the impact that this has on others. Oftentimes, people that we really love and care about, and sometimes it's a consequence to others that we're not at all aware of that's happening. What got me thinking about this as a podcast topic is I often host events. Personally, professionally, it's a part of, one, my unique gifts and talents. I'm good at it, and it's a big part of my life. And I get invited to a lot of events. And what I have seen happening more and more and more over the last 10 years is people will not RSVP until the last possible minute or way after you've asked them to respond. And as I've observed and talked to people about it, there's this, I'm so busy that I don't want to commit to anything because I don't know if I'm going to be able to show up, or I don't know if I'm going to want to go when it comes time for it. So there's this huge lack of commitment, which is also a lack of connection, that is getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And I have experienced it myself, but I think I feel it even more because of this. I put out a lot of things that require RSVPs. Here's the consequence to the person, the people usually planning this event. They've got stuff they've got to organize: food, location, handouts, gifts. And when you don't RSVP to the last minute, the budget's off, the timing's off. It's a real pain in the ass. Pardon my French. And so I think it's a byproduct of we're always working harder, and we're always so overcommitted, and we're always so overly activated in our nervous system that we don't have the capacity to even consider that we're going to be able to attend from a timing perspective or want to attend from an energy perspective. And this goes for good, fun things that if you were more regulated in your nervous system would enjoy. But you're questioning whether you have the capacity to even enjoy it. And so our always on, overly activated, never taking a break to get our nervous system regulated leaves us with no capacity to connect. product. That's science. That's not moral character. It's not that you're a bad person. It's your cellular system doesn't have the capacity to even think that you can add something good to your life and calendar. So that's what got me thinking about it. And then, like a lot of things, once I start thinking about something, especially the things that the Lord has me working on, I just started seeing evidence of this consequence to others as a byproduct of being dysregulated in our nervous system, which comes from always overworking or thinking that working harder is the answer. The whole when I get caught up, I just got to stay and work the weekend. Once I get this project done, it'll be okay. And it just keeps pushing things out further and further. There's never the space that you think there's going to be because you're not creating this space that would actually give you greater capacity, which would actually make you smarter, more creative, and more connected. Science, not just my opinion. And so some other things that came up as I started thinking about this were, and this ties to the RSVP thing, is a lot of times when I send out invites for things, people don't read, they skim. So they don't read for understanding. They're overly activated. They're too busy. And so you're skimming. And so while people planning these events and this information have gone to great lengths, usually to make sure that all the information is in there. I mean, sure, we miss sometimes. But for the most part, our intent is to make sure every single thing that you need is in that invite, whether it's something that gets texted to you from an app or an email that gets sent, whatever the case may be and how it gets sent. That's not the point. I would say 100% of the time, and you know me, I'll probably start keeping track of it now because we're having this little chat. I would guess 100% of the time, someone will message me asking me a question that's in the invite, that's in the email, that's in there. And look, I don't mind helping a friend out, but it does speak to the problem that nobody's really connecting with what they're reading, with each other. We're just overly activated, overly working all the time. These are small examples, I get it, but they reveal a much deeper problem. And so we've bought into this counterfeit idea that working more, working harder is the answer when it's actually the problem. Because if you were taking little micro breaks, if you were starting your day with some stillness, you would have the capability to read a message and receive the information. But when we're overly activated, you may have read it, but you don't remember what's in there. We're not getting the benefits that we think we are from working harder. And it's so pervasive that it's our belief system that this is what success requires. And we can only achieve to our level of belief. And so if you believe that success means working harder, and I'm telling you that the science says that success is about taking enough breaks and getting enough rest so that you're smarter, more innovative, and more connected, you won't believe the science because you've chosen to believe through experience and scripting and all the things in your past that working harder is the answer. So when I say to you, hey, I need you to take a break. This happens with my clients all the time. I need you to do daily stillness, micro moments throughout the day so you build capacity. They bite it because the belief system is that this is wrong, that rest is wrong. I had someone say in a session yesterday, which is brilliant. She was like, yeah, all of us were raised in jobs. Our first jobs were, if you're leaning, you should be cleaning. Because if you've ever worked in a restaurant or retail or anything where you got caught slacking, somebody hands you a broom or something to clean with, you're being paid by the hour. And so even if we're not being paid by the hour, we still have the time, task, and labor, no lean and start cleaning mindset. And so your belief is that working harder is success. It's a counterfeit. It's a lie. It's a bold-faced lie. And so other examples of things that we're doing that cause others that we care about problems because of this belief. Last minute cancellations, not just the last minute RSVP, but the last minute cancellations, being chronically late because you got too much on your plate. And I am the first one. And if you know me personally and we've interacted, you know that if you're late for a session with me and you text me and you are just losing your mind because you feel bad that you're late, I am the first one that is going to say, you are loved, you are safe, and it's fine. Don't worry, because I'm not here to shame you or guilt you about a belief system that we all bought into, me included. I'm here to love you and care about you enough to say, it's not working. So I'm not going to shame you if you're late. But the fact is that we all are so overloaded that it does just keep us late often. Just forgetting the details because you don't have the capacity to hang on to them. We say to each other, we should get together, but we don't because we're so overloaded. And then we feel guilty that we should and we don't. And then professionally, we don't prepare for the meeting. We think we're going to. We think we should. We want to. And this happens in sales. It happens in other project meetings. And so we don't come prepared. And then we need another meeting. And we can't get that meeting on the calendar for 3 months when it should be right now because a decision needs to be made. So we now have a project that was due, and now it's 3 months overdue because we all worked harder thinking it was the answer. And it's the problem. We are flying through responses in our emails, trying to get quote unquote caught up. And so you skim over things, you don't give enough information, you don't give enough context because you're trying to just get to inbox 0. It's a problem. Said with love. My gosh, we've all been there. We're all there right now. And I am just begging enough of us to see that it's a counterfeit, to see that it's a lie, and really get more connected to the truth so that we can use business and work to be a blessing, not a curse. I don't want it to be burnout. I want it to be a blessing because we are wired to show up and have meaningful lives that help one another. There's no place in the world than work to be able to use that work for a good purpose. But instead, we have the counterfeit that I just have to work myself into an oblivion and it's all going to work out. And it's not. I've done it. I'm saying this out of love, not out of shame. Too often, we use our title as an excuse for the chaos that we bring. I know. Just let it sit for a minute. Just know it was delivered with love. It then further exacerbates the lie, the message that success means that you're working harder and it's okay if you miss some details because, my gosh, they're the boss. They've got a lot going on. And so you especially either show up to the meeting late or having not reviewed the information or even what was the decision that was supposed to be made that someone invited you to. And they invited you because you're the leader and they need you to make a decision and it gets pushed back. Or you're so busy with emails and things that aren't all that valuable either, that you're not really coaching and connecting with people. If you're not giving them the coaching they need to improve, they're just continuing to be mediocre or not adding as much value as they could and want to, because they're not getting affirmation that they're doing good or not, then we are story-making machines. And so in the absence of connection, we're making up stories, wondering and stressing if we're okay, or we're not okay, are we doing all right, are we not doing all right? So then we work more and double down because we're not really sure. So the answer is always work harder. I'm here to tell you that honoring the one-on-one meetings with your team and really connecting with them is far more important than inbox 0. Because what you're really saying to people is, my time matters more than yours. And if you work hard enough, you can get promoted to where you'll be a leader. And then you get to work harder and not connect with people. I know I sound kind of crazy, but the more I observe this happening in my clients and around me with my friends, and it's a joke that this working harder and being constantly activated is the answer to success. It's not. So what are we going to do about it? For the love of everything holy, you need breaks. You need rest. Rest and breaks in regulating your nervous system is not lazy. It's true leadership. Stillness regulates your nervous system. And if you can't sit still, which is probably the case because you are so overly activated, just walk without a podcast. Walk without an audiobook. Go stand outside for 5 minutes before your next meeting. Stop booking meetings back to back. I've said all these things so many times. I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but I will not let this go because I care about our kids, our grandkids. I care about us. And the only way that we're going to make this better is if we make it better. So, a few reflection questions for you today. Where am I unintentionally offloading the cost of my overactivation onto others? Said differently, where am I leaning on the counterfeit of working harder? Next question to reflect on. As a leader, do I use my role as a free pass or as a call to model humility and clarity and the rest and breaks that you know that you and your people need? Here's another one. I have lots of reflection questions today because me telling you these things won't change things until you believe differently. So I'm just going to keep working on you until you believe differently, I guess. I'm talking 4 and 5 minute breaks in between stuff. How would rest change the way I show up for my family, my team, and maybe even my community? What if you could change the way society is by you taking breaks? What if the ripple effect is that profound? That the 7 to 11 people that you interact with on a regular basis, which is kind of the average, that you modeling taking breaks in rest and stillness would start a wave of change. What if? I had a friend, business partner, message me today asking for my daughter's contact information because she wanted my daughter to do her nails. My daughter runs her own nail business, literally runs her own business. So pays booth rent. It's her business. When she sent this message is a Friday. And this business partner, client, friend needs her nails done by Tuesday. And Monday is a holiday. And my daughter is booked like 3 to 4 weeks in advance. And my daughter doesn't work weekends, even though she's in a service business. And she has boundaries like a boss because she wants her weekend to rest and rejuvenate so she continually loves her job. And there have been a few times, and I love to believe that I've taught her some of these boundaries, but boy, has she taken it to the best level possible. There have been a few times where I'm like, well, maybe you should work a Saturday morning because there's this belief that, service industry, if you're going to get your nails done, well, she does work evenings. But I had to say to my friend, like, there's a high probability you ain't getting in because she really honors her boundaries. And that's what we want. That's what we want. So just overall reflection, who is paying the price for your overactivation? And then am I leaving people in uncertainty or am I intentionally connecting with them so they don't have to wonder and worry? Overall, what if we changed our belief of the counterfeit that working harder is the key to success into the belief that the science is right, that the Bible is right, and that having more capacity, more time and breaks in between the work is the answer to success? What if? All right, y'all. Message me if you have some tips and advice or need some tips and advice on some of these things. I would love to help you. And your team would love me to help you. All right. Love you, Mina. Bye.
I'm not coming down. I never left it on the ground. I'm not coming down.
Thanks for being here. You can follow us on Instagram, Business is Human, or TikTok, Rebecca Fleetwood Hession. It's a great way to share some of the clips with your colleagues and friends. All right. Make it a great day. Love you, mean it.